Well, we have made it the end of 2025. And what a crazy year it has been. Trying to put aside all the craziness that was politics, the economy, the files. Oh, yeah, I have the files right over here. Oh, wait, this is just my guidebook for Earthbound. Never mind. We have said goodbye to a lot of things, and we have said hello to a lot of things. Now, for someone who is an ISTJ, this could be very difficult. We like stability. The one thing we don't like is change. Now, we can be awesome for relationships and in the workplace, but we don't like when things change. I want to go over some of the changes that we've had here at Memories by Wayne and in Wayne's Arcade World. Showing you a couple things over here. And in my life in general. Most of which, if you are a regular viewer on my channel, you already know a lot about what I'm going to talk about. Alright, let's start with something we said goodbye to very recently in 2025. Did anyone have Adam the Woo's passing on your bingo card for 2025? I certainly did not. Yeah, I still can't believe it. I'm still kind of in shock. I went to his channel not too long ago, past day or so, and seeing that there hadn't been a video posted for like 3 or 4 days, it hit me pretty hard. I think for me that is kind of when the reality set in, that we're never ever going to have another daily woo, another daily video. And yeah, it's been really hard to process that. Now, I've been debating about how I am going to address this. I already made a community post, and this might be the only time that I do address Adam the Woo's passing. Now, there's been a ton of channels that have already done Adam the Woo videos talking about what they meant to him as a friend, as a mentor, as someone who influenced them to create a YouTube channel, and I'm certainly among that batch. Now, I expected all of the usual channels to come out and talk about Adam the Woo, like Justin Scar, Carpetbagger, Tampa J, even German in Venice, who that horrific situation of how he discovered Adam at his house. I feel so bad for him. Folks like Justin are much more qualified to talk about Adam than I am, and just about every single Disney vlogger channels that I've never heard of have talked about Adam. Obviously, he had a huge impact on the YouTube community. Maybe some of these channels are doing a little bit of clickbait to put Adam Woo's name in the title and get some extra views to the channel. I am not going to put Adam's name in the title of this video. This is my 2025 recap video. This is for my core viewers, my squad, the folks that have been here supporting me all throughout 2025 and earlier. Now, I've already discussed quite a bit about how Adam did influence me to start my channel. Something that I haven't discussed before is how I did discover Adam the Woo, and that was actually through his abandoned video of the Nickelodeon studios at Universal Studios in Orlando, Florida. Ironically enough, one of the 2 videos that got him trespassed from Universal Orlando. But yeah, I found out about Adam Woo and his main channel, not the Daily Woo, but his other channel, through that very cool tour of Nickelodeon Studios. Now, his defense was that he did have a guide kind of behind the scenes, someone at Letterman, maybe not totally should have Letterman, but there was some sort of production company there, and I'm assuming someone just knew Adam, said, hey, I can kind of sneak you in here. So in the end, they were both probably wrong, considering the age of that video. Should he have still been trespassed? Probably not. But that was the first video I ever saw of Adam's. And it was some time later that I started following the Daily Woo. He still had his van, but he was living in Orange County in that apartment or condo that he would film in pretty regularly. At some point, someone tried to break into that apartment, and then eventually he got large marred and started traveling the country again, and the rest is history. And I have already discussed this in previous videos, but Adam was the biggest influence for me to start my channel. I was actually going to South Bend, Indiana to get tires changed on my minivan, and I decided to go to a nearby Japanese garden in Mishawaka, Indiana, and I filmed it for my personal Facebook. But then after I posted it, something kind of hit me like, this is something random that Adam the Woo would do during one of his cross-country adventures. And I'm like, why can't I do that? Now, of course, I wouldn't be able to travel the country like Adam did. I still had a job and family, but it just kind of hit me like, why can't I do what he does on a smaller scale? Now, through the past year or so, I've been following Adam a little bit more through the commentary channels like Passing Through Productions and Troll Patrol when he was covering Adam the Woo's videos. Now, I definitely had some disagreements with the direction the channel was going. I was actually really looking forward to 2026 and seeing his backroad adventures through the USA and getting back to the Adam the Woo that I really enjoyed, hitting those small towns, talking to cows, drooling over the Coca-Cola murals. I was really looking forward to that again, and unfortunately we're never going to be able to see that. Now, even though I was following Adam through the commentary channels, I never was a hater. I've always supported Adam. Yeah, we've had some good laughs through those channels, but I've never been a hater. And it's been very interesting listening to people like Justin Scar talk about who Adam really was behind the camera. And we get a perspective of who we think someone is through these YouTube videos, and it's not always the same, and unfortunately that's not really fair. But I believe Justin. There's probably no one out there who knows him better than he does. And it has been absolutely wild, not only seeing all of these channels come out of the woodwork talking about Adam, but all of the articles that came out after Adam the Woo's passing. Obviously, I knew this was going to be a pretty big impact on the Woovians, the Disney community, the travel community, the abandoned community, but I had no idea that there was going to be articles by TMZ, People Magazine, my local Fox station, Fox 32, they did an article on Adam the Woo, and that's absolutely crazy. And I heard someone say, and I have to agree, I don't think even Adam knew what his reach was to the world. Just absolutely amazing. Adam did abandon before anyone else. He did van life before anyone else. He did theme parks just about before anyone else. He was a pioneer on YouTube, and it's just amazing how many people knew about Adam. It's just crazy. But I think that's all I really want to discuss regarding Adam right now. We might do something more later. But let's continue on with the crazy year that was 2025. Well, let's talk about something else that we said goodbye to very early in 2025. We got into an accident with the minivan. Yeah, the tire flew off just a couple miles from my house, and I actually drove it on its rim all the way back to the house. I thought maybe I just had a flat, but I was driving it on 3 wheels the mile or so back to my house. And I have a feeling that this may have been caused by something the place that we get our cars serviced at for like oil changes, tire changes, that sort of thing, may have done, because it was shortly after one of those services that I noticed a lug nut was missing on that said wheel. I'm like, oh, that's kind of weird. But, you know, there's a whole bunch of lug nuts on the said wheel. You know, one of them missing isn't probably that big of a deal, right? Well, that's my fault. And assumed it was not a big deal, and I will, let them know during the next oil change and say, hey, put a lug nut back on there. Well, apparently it's a lot bigger deal than that, and a month or two later, that's what happened, and we said hello to a very nice SUV after that. Now, I certainly did not want to have another car payment since I got my little blue car that has been featured in many videos now at this point. Back in 2010, I haven't been able to go more than a year without having at least one car payment. Now, sometimes that has been due to an accident. Sometimes that has been due by our choice when we upgraded our secondary vehicle to one of those minivans. But I haven't been able to go more than a year without at least one car payment. It's been kind of frustrating. So that's the situation with the vehicles. I've been very happy with the SUV. I love it. There's definitely times where I miss all that room in the back of the minivan, but now one really cool thing about this SUV, it still has third row seats. So that's really nice in the situation where we still want to put a bunch of people in there. But yeah, there's a little less cargo room than the minivan had. We've also said hello to some new technology in 2025. We got our brand new Gigabyte G6 laptop. And I really got to say, this has been a game changer for this channel, especially DaVinci Resolve. Now, I was very hesitant to give up Windows 7 and Windows Movie Maker, but now, having used this laptop, and especially DaVinci Resolve, I would never go back. This has been an absolutely amazing experience. This has been a great laptop. I will post an update video. We're roughly at about the 6-month mark now using this. Now, not all things are perfect, but I'm very, very happy with this purchase. And then, of course, we got to talk about our little mini retro gaming PC. Something that we said hello to very recently, thanks to our friend and squad member, Todd Herbert, our little retro gaming PC with thousands of games for us to play. We will never run out of games to play on future live streams. We started with an Xbox and ended up with this HP Elite Desk. There's a whole video dedicated to the story that I recently put out about how this came to be. But these were two amazing additions to the channel and to the game room. And of course, if we are going to talk about things that we said hello and goodbye to in 2025, we have to talk about our pets. We have lost some family members, and we have gained some family members. Sleepy puppy. They're also not too thrilled by the wind outside right now as well. We are currently experiencing our next polar vortex. Yeah, you don't like this wind, do you? So we said goodbye to one of our senior cats this year, and then said hello to two new cats, a 3-year-old Tortie and a kitten which I think is at least partially Maine Coon. And as many of you know, we have said goodbye to our senior Old English Sheepdog. This is our younger Old English Sheepdog, Angel, but we lost Emma. And we said hello to this shaggy looking thing, Delilah, who is at least a partial Old English Sheepdog. We don't know what else she is mixed with, but she's definitely not a purebred Old English Sheepdog. Got some laundry duty tonight as well. And I'm going to take the dogs outside for the last time tonight. This was something I kind of started doing regularly after my wife had her health scare. I've discussed this in a previous video as well. My wife had a very bad injury to her foot right around the time of our St. Louis trip during the 4th of July, so that was definitely a thing that happened in 2025. Which definitely led to some breaks in filming. We had several breaks in filming this year, either due to health reasons or very interesting weather like we're having this entire month of December. It's been kind of unfortunate that I haven't been able to really film much of holiday content this year. Done a little bit with my family. They'll kind of end up being shorter videos. Unfortunately, one of my daughters was also kind of sick as well these past couple of weeks, so we've been doing small little holiday adventures, and of course I did film them. But yeah, we aren't going to have quite the same holiday content that we usually do, and that's just mainly because the weather has been horrible this month. But thanks to having a video backlog, I've been able to continue to release videos pretty steadily. Every 3, 4, or 5 days. Even during the time where my wife was, getting treatments and stuff for her foot, I don't think we still went more than a week without releasing a video, so I did good with that, I guess. I've gotten really good at doing laundry and working the dishwasher. That's something that happened with this health scare. Alright, second round of the towels are going. Now I'm gonna the dogs out one more time and we'll continue on with this video. Alright, the dogs have been let out one more time. This one is currently cleaning herself, and the other one is already out. Now I haven't gone back and watched my 2024 year-end review or what my goals were for 2025. If I did list some goals, I'm sure I probably failed at them. It's been a very interesting year. Of course, all the economy stuff, money has been very tight. Overall, I think I've done pretty good at covering the variety of topics that I like to cover on this channel. If there's one area I definitely failed at, it was probably traveling. There's definitely a lot of places that are still on my to-do list. Of course, it doesn't mean we still can't cover those places in 2026. But like I said, money was very tight this year. And one thing that I hadn't really thought about before, now that I have a kid in both middle school and high school, and two very active kids, which is awesome. They are both a lot more active than I ever was when I was in school. Now, I definitely had my clubs that I was in, but these girls do everything. I had to be around McHenry quite a bit in the afternoon to either pick them up from an activity, take them to an activity. Often I be a dad taxi for both kids and multiple activities, so there was a lot of times that I could not travel where I would have liked to because I couldn't travel too far from McHenry. So that definitely affected things a little bit. And I know I have discussed in previous videos, much to the liking of Adam the Woo, I wanted to do a lot more videos centered around small towns. And not only that, but covering areas and counties that I don't usually cover. I wanted to do a lot more of that in 2025 and definitely did not. Hopefully we'll do better with that in 2026. Overall, though, I think I've done pretty good with covering topics like malls, grocery stores. We've done some Lake County and McHenry County forest preserves, some of which you haven't seen yet. I haven't released those videos yet from our fall adventures. I definitely still have some pretty exciting videos to come out that were filmed in 2025. We've covered some of the local McHenry stuff, including some of the parades and local festivals. Work schedules made it a little difficult to cover things like the Pearl Street Market, and we're not doing a lot of Riverwalk stuff anymore due to the renovation now being complete. And I'm getting ready to release some local homecoming videos here in McHenry, so that's some pretty exciting content I'm looking forward to showing you guys. A highlight to me for 2025 was definitely my epic day trip to Wisconsin Dells. That was a lot of fun. I'm really hoping to get back to the Dells in 2026, possibly for the Wazawa Festival, their big fall festival up there. And maybe we'll meet Maverick Hayes. And speaking of meeting YouTubers, let's talk about someone we said hello to in 2025, and that is, of course, our squad member Todd Herbert, who put together that retro gaming PC for Wayne's Arcade World. I had to meet up with him a couple times to learn about the PC and also, of course, pick it up. So that was really cool getting to meet Todd. He is a really awesome guy. In 2024, I met up twice with On the Go with Flo, another squad member. She was really cool too. And now the question is, which one of you am I going to meet in 2026? As crazy as 2025 was, I'm very hesitant to make a specific goal list for 2026. As stated, I do want to continue with my goal for 2025 and document small towns and cover areas and counties that I don't usually cover. And hopefully things will work out for more travels in 2026. And speaking of traveling and 2026, one more thing I want to discuss here before we look into some YouTube stats. I thought that might be fun, kind of looking into how the channel has grown over the years. In case you haven't realized, we are entering the 10-year anniversary of our channel. Yeah, Memories by Wayne will hit 10 years old in July 2026. I never thought we'd get here. There will hopefully be two big traveling events in 2026. One around spring break, and I also want to do a special trip to celebrate the 10-year anniversary of the channel in July. I will discuss more once everything is finalized, but the one thing I can tell you is that this spring break, my oldest daughter is going with her marching band group, the color guard group that she's in, with her flags that she throws around. They are going to a city that I have never been to before, a city that is pretty far away, to do a performance. Yeah, this is a pretty big deal. This is something that the high school does every year, and this is the first time it involves one of my kids. It's a state that I have been to, but not a city I have ever been to. And it's not a small city. And I'll just leave it at that for now. Although we'll only be up there for a short time, and it will be a multi-day road trip to get there and back if we do decide to drive up there. But besides my daughter's concert, which obviously is the reason we're up here, there's a whole lot of potential vlogging content as well. And then, of course, I want to do something special to celebrate the 10-year anniversary of Memories by Wayne. And I know specifically what I want to do. It will be a solo overnight trip. And I attempted to do this like 2 or 3 years ago, but money-wise, it just didn't work out. This was like the height of the inflation boom, so like motel prices were high, gas was high, everything was really high price-wise, and I just unfortunately did not have the extra money to justify a solo overnight trip, but I'm really hoping I can do this July 2026. So would I consider 2025 a success? For the most part, yeah. With the technology that we said hello to this year, like I said, it has been a game changer for the channel. It has been so much quicker and easier to edit videos on that new laptop with DaVinci Resolve, and something that I haven't even really discussed yet is how often we've been doing live streams. I have done at least one live stream almost every week this year. Sometimes we've done 3 live streams in a week. I never expected to do that many live streams. And you guys have been amazing with all your super chats and super thanks. I have really enjoyed hanging out with you guys during the live streams. Now, we don't get a lot of new visitors in those live streams, and I don't know what to do to change that. For the most part, it's the same squad members, which I'm perfectly okay with. I love hanging out with you guys, but I would like to get some new faces, new folks into the live streams. And thanks to the new retro gaming PC that we got from Todd, we should have many more interesting live streams to come. And with that new PC we got with DaVinci Resolve, I've started playing around with the videos, trying to make them more professional looking with B-roll and voiceovers and photo slideshows. I'm still learning that program, but hopefully my videos are starting to look a little more professional, less amateur-like, and hopefully I continue to make them better for you. I've been kind of thinking about like if I could ever do video editing on a professional level or a freelance level, like someone on Fiverr, you know. I mean, there's still people who know a lot better about both like DaVinci Resolve and Adobe Premiere Pro, but like I'm kind of starting to think about like, could I possibly do video editing for someone for their channel? I don't know. I had that same thought back when I was a web designer, or I thought I was going to be a professional web designer. And I did do some websites for folks, but a lot of it was just volunteer work or for organizations or for like the Disney clubs that I was in. I don't know. I just kind of wonder if there's ever going to be a place for me to do video editing for others. I've just really been enjoying my time learning DaVinci Resolve and fine tuning my video editing skills and just having something other than Windows Movie Maker.